Hello everyone, it's Justine. Today I'm using the die Sugarplum Tweets to make a very beautiful pink Christmas card. Yes, pink. Now, for this die, there's all of these dies for the birds themselves. These are some extra wing pieces, a little hat, some holly pieces, and I like to call these the fancy branches. And then there are some sentiments that will go on my card. So you can kind of see there, I have, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I was so excited to use this die because I have nothing in my stash saying Happy New Year. I have nothing for stamps or dies. So I'm glad that I have something now. So I went ahead and die cut everything already. So I will explain my process as we go. So for these fancy branches, I want my two little birds to rest on them. So I'm going to put them down first and just kind of figure out my placement before I start gluing and getting things really set into place. So as I glue down my first branch here, I'm going to leave a little bit of the first part open so my light or my dark pink bird on the left will be able to kind of nestle into the branch. So for my liquid glue today, I'm using Barely Art liquid glue. There's a fine point tip on there and it dries clear, so it's kind of my favorite glue at this point. I'm going to put each branch kind of coming off of the card, and as you can see on that top little spindle, I did leave that open. Going to use one part of my 2-in-1 just to sneak a little glue under there. Then I'm going to snip off the rest of the fancy branch and save those pieces because I'm going to add them to the top of the card in a little bit. I'm going to now secure this pink panel to my silver mirrored cardstock. And I'm using a full A2 sized piece of cardstock that is going to not only frame my pink piece, but also show through my sentiment area. And it definitely did not disappoint. It is full of shine, and I love the mirrored cardstock from Spellbinders. I ended up putting just a little more glue here because I think I had my die cutting machine on too high of a setting and it warped my paper just a little bit. And for some of those little dies, the double-sided tape wasn't really cutting it, so I just added a little bit of glue so it would be very secure. And doing that, I did put a little mark on my card, but I will cover that up by the end of the video. Again, I'm using this little shovel piece from my 2-in-1 just to sneak a little bit of glue underneath some areas that are even too small for that precision glue tip to reach. I love my little 2-in-1 and I use it very often. Now I'm going to take some of the little pieces of my branch that I cut off and add them to the top parts of the card to make it look a little more natural for my birds. As natural as a pink swirly silver tree and bird set could be. But it just kind of adds to the background, I suppose. So I'll just use my reverse tweezers and add some glue right on them. I have had a few questions about some of the tools that I use. So some of my go-to tools are this glue, my reverse tweezers, my 2-in-1. I like that magnet, I don't know what to call it, I guess diamond teal piece that you see in the top corner there because it just picks up all of my dies really quickly for me. Some other tools that I like are my paper cutter. I really like the mini trimmer from Tim Holtz for cutting very small sentiments out. I like my spring-loaded tweezer or spring-loaded scissors for fussy cutting. I use those quite a bit. I just used those to cut off my fancy branches here a minute ago. So those are just a few that I enjoy. Now I'm going to put my birds together. So the top part of the bird is die cut out with some missing swirly pieces for this little bird so the background shows through. Then there's a tail and a wing, and this little squatty bird gets a little hat. And even though it's not on the inspiration sheet for these birds, I did cut out a beak for each bird. So that's that very tiny orange piece that I'm putting on now. And I die cut out an eyeball for each bird with just a very, very small black little circle. Sometimes I will put my pieces together, like this whole bird I'll put together off of my project and then put it onto my project. Sometimes I will create the character or object on my card. It just kind of depends on my mood and the die. So this time I'm putting my bird together and then putting it onto my card. Again, it's just kind of me. My personality is kind of like that, where if it's what I'm feeling at the time, I'm going to do it. I'm a little impulsive that way, but sometimes crafting, I just kind of get into the zone and I'm in my own little world, if you will. Anyway, I really enjoy this die set. First, because it has the Happy New Year aspect to it. And like I said, I really don't have anything that has that theme going on, so now I do. And these birds are simply adorable. You could use either bird and have it on its own on a card, or you could die cut out multiples of the same bird and put it on a card, or you could use the same die and use different color paper to make different birds. And as you see right there, that's where my glue issue just happened, which it happens, but I'm going to cover it up. Not to worry. I really should have had a better handle on my reverse tweezers, but such is life. Anyway, by changing the paper color to these birds, you could really get a totally different look. And I love pink. I really don't have one favorite color, but I love pink in general. And who says pink cannot be for a Christmas card? I say it can be. So I'm making this a completely pink card. And I really enjoy pink and silver together. I think that pink and silver go really well. Red and gold, blue and silver. They're just, I love color. Why not? Anyway, by making cards that are kind of one tone, it's an easy way to make things kind of coordinate and match if you just use different shades and tones of pinks. Now I need to add the little holly aspects to my birds. So I'm going to first add the holly leaves, and then I will add the little berries. Now I'm second guessing myself. Are they holly or mistletoe? If they're mistletoe, I'm so sorry, but I don't know. I'm having a moment. Anyway, these little green aspects to the card definitely have more of a nod to the Christmas theme and kind of tie in with the theme. I think that if I went pink with these, it would be a little odd. So I chose the traditional colors for my little sprigs here. So to cover up my glue mistake, I'm just going to use my Wink of Stella pen and just wash that over the whole background. And it kind of looks intense and scary at first because I'm just adding this liquid that is supposed to dry over the whole thing and just kind of hoping that it works, and it does turn out just fine. On the final product picture, it does look a little streaky, but that was taken right after I did it, and after it had a second to dry, it really was just fine. So thank you so much for watching. all the way to the end. And if you've liked the card or have been inspired by the card, please hit the like button so I know for next time. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!